So yesterday I talked about the creating of a monster, right? And how this is sort of one of the things that happens to chosen ones, and it happens to even the evil ones. What happens is the chosen ones take what they learn from the creating of a monster and they tame it. And they understand what it is and they accept it. So this is something that happened to me, right? And I'm gonna use myself in some specifics in my life to show you what I mean, exactly what I mean, and how this is very instrumental in your magnum opus. This is very instrumental in you overcoming and obtaining whatever you think Nirvana, heaven, all these different names are. This is how you obtain it. So, or how you become a chosen one in the first place. What makes you chosen? What makes you that person or that being? Because it's not really, you're not a person. When you're talking about you being a chosen one, you're not a person. You're not a human anymore. You don't even have the animalistic desires that most humans have, if they even make it to the human potential. Because most humans are animals. Most of those people are animals. They live on basic animalistic necessities. Like they only have animalistic desires: eat, sleep, sex, poop, pee, stuff like that. And they contribute nothing else to the human psyche but other animalistic desires like murder, rape, all this other type of stuff, right? Or not rape, but you get what I'm saying. So you have the taming of the monster. So when you come to this reality, you come to experience things that you can't experience anywhere else. You mean? And one of those things, and I talked about it being unreality. I don't mean it in the sense that it's bad, like it's an illusion that it's bad. Wrong. It's a difference. There was a reality created before this one that was the real one, like the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve fell from the Eden, right? That doesn't make this a bad one. That doesn't make this like hell, like some people are like, this is hell. No, this is not that. This is actually very instrumental into the design of you becoming that person, the chosen one, the extended master, you know what I'm saying? And the only way you can do that is by taming that ego. Is by becoming that, is by making sure that you take the ego that is created, that other being that is created, and taming it, right? So I'll give you an example. The ego that's created is your emotions, right? It has to be. What happens when a person is walking around, they have that's pride, right? What is that? That's an emotion. You feel me? When a person they're over angry. What is that? Or that's part of the ego, right? They're angry. They'll burn everything behind them. Why? Because they're angry. What is that? That's the ego. That's the ego. The ego's hurt. You see what I'm saying? That's the emotion. It's the heart of you. Now, there's not a person that doesn't know me that's going to tell you that I wasn't blessed with the biggest heart. I will give the shirt off my back to the people that I love the most, and I will destroy you if I don't like you the most. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is just a normal type of gift that God gave me. He gave me a very big heart, right? But the problem is it was too big for myself. So this is what happens to a human being. Their ego is too big for themselves. They can never be selfless enough to take anything else on. You see that with people running from responsibility, right? They love nobody but themselves. Their ego's so big, they don't love nothing else, right? And then you have people that are willing to take on the world. They take the world on their shoulders. Why? Because they were able to tame the ego enough to take on something bigger than themselves. See, this is what you learn as you start to get on this path of your magnum opus. This is really one of the things that you really learn. And a lot of people right now, they really walk around, they be living for no reason. They in the way because they're not even taking what the gifts that life gives them. They're not even taking and using it. They're not using the gold that they getting. They living to pay bills and then dying and then wondering why they got a void in their life that's as big as the Mariana Trench that can't be fulfilled. They can't fulfill it. They can't fulfill it because the void that's missing is they too selfish enough to do anything for anybody else but themselves. And that show, and a lot of it shows you, like, A lot of it is shown in their actions, yo. A lot of it shown in their actions, yo. Because what happened was the second that I tamed my own ego, yo, was the second that I became solely selfless. The monster that you have that is being created, or the monster that is already created but being fed more and getting bigger, the ego, it is driven by the heart. And the way you create emotional intelligence, right, is by taming it. And now because you tamed the monster, right, by intellect, by reason, by emotional intelligence, now you can use your taming of the monster. You use the monster, you and the monster cool now. That's my monster right now. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not just talking about like, all right, I'm gonna give you an example, and I says I'm gonna give you personal examples, right? There's a lot of people that believe, that know me, that believe that I'm fearless. Like, you're like, yo, you crazy, like you be tripping. I'm fearless, right? I'm not fearless, right? There's a God that I follow. I am a believer. I am a real believer. I believe in Allah. I mean it. I have a relationship with him. So I don't even believe in him no more. Excuse me. I know him. I have a real relationship with him, right? He has dominion over all things, meaning that whatever he's going to do, he's going to do it regardless. And it's up for me to bring him grace. And I try to bring him as much grace as I can, because I have to also make sure that I keep that ego tamed and not make it bigger than just God. Like, I'm bigger than God. You mean? So that's what makes me fearless, or whatever they want to call it. But it's bigger than fearless. It's just the fact that I know that I have Allah protecting me. He guides me. And he don't just protect me. He protects me and others too, like, you know what I'm saying? And he'll kindly move you right out the way if you get in my way. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you do it in a very selfish manner. And you see that a lot. You see a lot of people that will go out of their way to get in your way. I see it all the time. And I'll be like, look at this person coming. I see it so many, man. You know what I mean? And I laugh because it could be something very simple, like a person just being jealous over me looking better than them. You know what I'm saying? I mean that as I mean that as real as I'm saying that. That's not being conceited or anything. People really be jealous over the sorriest things. And it could be something like that. So they come over and they try to knock you off your high horse some way. This is a baby tactic. This is like preschool, but people do it, and adults do it. Adults, as old as I am, adults still do it. And I'm like, this is very preschool, right? But this is to show you they have no emotional intelligence. And the fact that they think that my day could be thrown off by their actions or comment is just mind-boggling. There's even more mind-boggling. The fact that they think, right, that they're fed, their ego is fed, like their beast is fed on the inside. They get like a little feel good, like, I got out on him. Really? That fed you? It's so amazing to see it. And I will fall right in line and watch it do it. I will fall in line. I'm one of them people, like, when I see somebody about to dig the trench for themselves, I'll let them dig it. You know what I mean? I'll let them dig it. Now, if I see it and I know that you don't know no better, you know what I mean? I had a young boy that didn't know no better. He didn't like me. He wanted to rumble me, right? And I'm looking at him like, yo, I will really do you dirty bad. You know what I'm saying? But as humble as I am, you know what I'm saying, I bowed out as gracefully as I can. But I did it in a way for him not to be not to feed the ego, because what happens is if you feed it too much, he's gonna go down that road and destroy himself. At that point, once he gets out on you, at that point, he gonna feel like I'm getting out on everybody, and he gonna meet somebody that's not gonna do what I just did. You see how that goes. He gonna come across somebody that's gonna be like, you gonna put him right out, and then I see it. I've seen it. So I give him enough where that feeds it, but but I spare you. You see what I'm saying? And to think, and I don't mean spare you. Let me take, because I want people to understand how serious I am about Allah, like how serious I am about God being in control of these things, right? God is in super control of this type of stuff. The grace don't go to me. When I say I spared him, I'm only saying it because of the vernacular of my words. No. God knows what he's doing. As he's building you, he's building him, he's built, like, this is the plan. Like, you mean, this is a plan. I'm just here just helping him. Like, I mean, or not just helping him because he don't need no help, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like, I'm here just playing that part. You know what I'm saying? And we live and we die for him all the time anyway. We live for you and we die for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just something that we do. We to him, we came from, to him we return. So like we're being used by him. And then his grace, like when they say alhamdulillah or Christians say hallelujah, right? And l'chaim, I think it's l'chaim when Hebrews they'll say something like that, which is just all grace to all praise to God, right? When you say those things, right? How can you say those things and then give yourself praise? So that's why I say it's a vernacular type of thing, right? So when you doing things for people, or you praising, you know that it's God that put you in that position for you to do it. Now you could have chose to not do it, but God put you in that position and you did well. And you did well. And I believed I did well when I spared that person. And I've spared a lot of people, believe me. So, and a lot of people probably have spared me. So I use that as an example to show people that the monster is what happens when you don't spare the person and you do let your ego get out of control. You know what I'm saying? And you don't become bigger than yourself. People, I sit back and watch people destroy yourself, right? Because people will hate you. And I mean, shoot, they hate me. They hated Jesus. They hate everybody. Like, people have this hate thing, and you see it. You see hateful people. These type of people are just hateful people. They're jealous people, they're envy people, and they're hateful. And somebody made a comment on one of my joints. They said, I think everybody has a form of jealousy inside them. And I wanted to reply back to him, but a lot of people that comment on my joint, I think that some of them might be trolls. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he is or she is. I just think some of them might be. But the thing is that one, I don't care. But two, you met one. I don't hate nobody. I don't have hate for people that I don't know. I don't like people that did stuff to me. Yes, I don't like people that did stuff to me. But I don't be hating people for having things that I don't have. I don't have jealousy over people for doing things that I can't do. I don't even know how that feels. Now, that's not no ego trip. That's alhamdulillah. And I thank God for that. That's one of the things I thank the most. The people that do this don't know anything about me, but I have had situations in my life where I know what it feels like to love somebody so much to know that that person can't do stuff that I can do. I know what that feels like. A lot of people don't know what that feels like. I do. I know what it feels like to love somebody more than myself. And that person can't do things that other people can do. Right? So when I see people that are hateful over something, I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like because I already don't have that challenge. And I never was a jealous person. I didn't hang around people so that I could bring them down. To me, that's just something I didn't have that challenge. And I thank God for that, because the prison that a person has to live in to do that, right? Because you have to live in a prison to do that. You have to go all the way out your way to do this type of actions. Forget a magnum opus. Forget trying to refine yourself or be a better person. How are you going to do that? How are you going to accomplish anything but destruction in your life? How can you do that? How can you build anything? How? What you going to build? A bomb to destroy everybody? Everybody you touch turns to poop. You the opposite of Midas touch. You the diarrhea touch. Everything you touch turn to poop. It's impossible. It's impossible to know that. Now, I don't have the Midas touch. I have turned things into poop myself. But to watch other people, like, you can't possibly be successful like that. It's impossible. And I ain't talking about material success. You're leading yourself into damnation for sure, guaranteed. And if you look at our reality, these people are the ones leading us. These are the ones leading us. Socially, politically, economically, everywhere. They're the ones leading us, yo. Suckers. Believe y'all. Cause I will not follow anything that these people do, yo. Anything. I hope they don't start eating pizza as much as I eat it, because goddamn it, I'm gonna be mad as I don't know what, because I love pizza. But y'all, I mean, just silly stuff. And unbelievable. And to think that people would have that challenge, right? And then try to use it and influence your life, right? So they go from one hateful position with somebody, and now they're like a shark in water. I'm gonna find somebody else to hate and to crash right into. Really? Like this is our reality, right? And when you are in the middle of that challenge, and when you're in the middle of that hateful battle between you and this hateful and jealous person, right? Like the ego inside you wants to destroy that person, right? But they are a step, they are an obstacle in your development, because Allah is watching to see if you're going to destroy them, like I said with the young man, right? So this is also a test for your development, for if you are the person that is going to survive the storm, survive what they do to you, or are you going to be the one that becomes the storm? Because I use this analogy a lot, but this is exactly what it is. So it's the same water that softens the potato, boils the egg, right? So it's not about what you go through, because everybody goes through the same stuff. But it's about what you made of, to see if you're going to go through that situation by just living and by just existing, or are you going to live through that situation and you're going to survive and thrive through that situation. And by thriving, I don't mean, I get a chance to take all the material possessions with me. No, by thriving, I mean, how many people have you made right along the way? Now, I gave the example of how I saved somebody when I was locked up, and I promise you that person is never going to forget that, regardless if he admits it or not. But there was other people that seen it too, and they probably never gonna forget that. Now, these are examples of people not forgetting something, or how many lives you have touched in a positive way, right? This is what makes you successful. And this is what bothers me so much about looking at people like Diddy or Cosby and people like that fall from so-called grace. Because you look at one thing that they do and you ready to kill him for. Oh, I don't care. He hurt that girl. He beat her up and all this other stuff. Cool. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. That wasn't his best moment. That's not a person's best moment, obviously. Well, how many people has Diddy saved? Right? We never talk about that. We never talk about the lives he changed, the fact that he got the key to the New York City and then they take it back from him. So like, you didn't know he was having freak offs before? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you was cool when nobody else knew, but as soon as you knew, and this is what I don't like about people's character. because they'll change and turn on you. You a sucker if you do that. I mean, I haven't seen more suckers in my life. I've seen nothing but suckers. I mean, this is why I stay to myself, because people are not strong enough to stand and be like, you know what, that's my dog, and he really did me. He saved my life. They ain't gonna do that because they suckers. And you have a world of these type of people. Oh, he did that. Oh, here, I'm going to change now. He saved your life. He saved your life. You needed money for your mom, my hospital bill, they about to throw you out, or something on the street or whatever. He give you money. He saved your life, and now you changed on him. So what type of person are you? And you saw that with Joseph, in the story of Joseph, right? So you got Joseph being buried alive by his 5 brothers. He don't even tell nobody this, right? And this is what burns me out, right? Because I got a story for you, man. Nobody likes a fucking crooked cop. Oh, stuff for the law. Nobody likes a crooked cop, right? And I crack up, right? I'm like laughing because I'm like, you wouldn't even believe what I have experienced in my life, yo. I have been in the middle of a crooked cop planting evidence, a crooked girlfriend getting her citizenship by setting me up, getting her cousin off of a vehicular homicide, setting me up. I mean, complete trashy people. But here I am, the fall person. And what happens is that they can't catch you for one thing, so they'll like pin it on you. And that's another reason why I really question Diddy's situation, because I've seen them pin stuff on people. They will pin it on you, yo. They will definitely give it to you. And you be like, it's mind-boggling. So you got to be very mindful on the moves that you make, yo. Because they be ready to go ahead and try to go and get one off on you. And that's why I love what Zora Neale Hurston said, because this is why I do these. That's why I do these joints, y'all. Because you're not going to do nothing to me, and for me to be like, and for you to later on be like, oh, he wanted this to happen. No, you ain't going to do that. Because I'm going to use this for what I can't see coming, and I'll use other things for what I can see coming. And that's how you live, yo. Because those things is what law tell me to do. Because while I got my front, he got my 6. Joseph, when he went through his 5 brothers burying him alive, which is just really one of the saddest things. He had those dreams where the Pharaoh said to Joseph, what was these dreams? And Joseph said, we're about to have a famine. So what the Pharaoh did was he stored grain for the 7 years they had the famine, and most of the people lived. And then he appointed Joseph like second in command of the whole Egypt. And this is Jewish stories too, because this is in the Old Testament. And in Islam, we take these stories too, because obviously the lineage comes through Christianity into Islam. The reason why I'm giving you the story is because this is what you are made of. Joseph was a beast. I'm talking about a beast. And I mean, we got other stories like we Muslims got Hamza, Umar. They got radiallahu, and we got the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was almost assassinated a couple times. You got the story of Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, where they had he was incarcerated wrongly. But then you got the Christian stories of Joseph and Yusuf and the Jewish stories of them. Or the story of Jesus where he was crucified and lied on. I mean, you don't have one story of a person getting punished for something he did, for real. Most of the stuff that you have is a person just being persecuted for them being dumb and doing the right thing. So if the world is persecuting people for doing the right thing, then what kind of world do we live in? Oh, now you know what type of world we live in. We live in a world full of suckers. And I don't mind saying it. I would say it to people's face if I didn't feel like they would try to get me locked up after me beating them up. Because this is just a normal, this is like, this is what it is. That's the world we live in. And when you think that Joseph, the best of us, was persecuted the way he was off of jealousy, just off of jealousy alone by his own family, that shows you what you're really made of, yo. That's a person who tamed his own ego. He tamed the monster. I'm done.